Namaste, Soul Circle! I'm Steven.
And I'm Candace, and we're from Arcana Mind Body Spirit, located here in Toronto, Canada. On today's episode, we will be discussing one of the four sacred elements, the element of water.
The four elements are rooted in a rich history found throughout many religions, cultures, and spiritual practices. For example, indigenous cultures, anything with pagan origins, Buddhism has the Four Noble Truths, and even Judaism, which speaks of the four worlds. Science and philosophy both speak to our very existence being made up of these four essential elements: air, fire, water, and earth.
The sky, stars, trees, animals, and humans are all connected through the four elements, and even though we are all different from each other, this is what ties us together universally, the elements. So, let's talk about water and find out how this particular element plays a role in who you are and the way you navigate through your life and relationships.
This is great foundational knowledge for anyone looking to discover more about working with any of the metaphysical tools. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below so that you can keep up with all of our four elemental videos, as well as any of the other videos on Arcana Mind Body Spirit, while working to learn and use all that is within the realms of the metaphysical and self-growth. Let's dive in. We'll dive.
So, now that we've gathered ourselves, the element of water. This element is in the direction of west, and the corresponding zodiac signs are Cancer, my moon, Scorpio, and Pisces, my rising.
So much water.
We constantly talk about your Leo moon, so I figured it was only fair.
In case you guys don't know, I am in... Okay, no.
Cut! Cut!
We're going to start things off by going through different themes, keywords, and explanations that correlate with the element of water.
Water is intuitive and emotional, holding the powers of our subconscious and creativity. When working with this element, be it easy or difficult for you personally, remember that humans are made up of predominantly water, and therefore, if you want to connect with this element, look within. Water is all about the intuitive, spiritual, mysterious, healing, and insightful aspects of the human experience. So take some time to be compassionately intimate with yourself and harness the divine feminine within.
With all that said, let's talk about specific strengths of the water element within the characteristics of a person. These people are emotional and compassionate and empathetic, and, well, they just feel so much, and sometimes all at once. They are fantastic at connecting with others, welcome moments of love and vulnerability within the safety of their intimate relationships. Their feelings are as authentic as they come, and they have a rich imagination and are super creative. Their gut leads the way, and that ability to find that true connection with themselves and the world around them allows for the flow of spirituality to come streaming in.
I feel like all the people I know with a lot of water in their charts are really need to recharge the battery, and having a comfortable and safe space such as their home is absolutely vital. Lots of nurturing energy there.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I know for me personally, as someone with a lot of water in their chart, especially my rising and moon, it's definitely important for me to have that safe little space. My home used to be a certain way. I need that, and I need to recharge. I can go hard. That fire is strong. I can go hard, but I need to shut down afterwards. I need to retreat.
I've seen those bases in you. I've seen that. And also, I'm married to a sun sign Cancer, and I've seen the home, his shell is just, home is so beautiful to him, and he needs to retreat. He has to go away a little bit here and there. And that's a huge thing across the board, I feel, for water signs.
Absolutely. So let's talk about weaknesses, or rather aspects of someone's personality that might cause issue. The shadow, if you will. So we discussed that water traits in a person allow someone to connect and find empathy and compassion as a second nature. But that also makes it hard to disconnect from everyone and everything. And that can be extremely overwhelming, especially if you haven't found balance and strong boundaries. Sometimes this means water people can become recluse, secretive, or even smothering, as well as vindictive.
Yeah.
As someone, again, with a lot of water in their chart, you are more prone to depression, overthinking, overeating. You can become either completely overwhelmed with your emotions, indulging in all that's within the subconscious, and also that energy of everything and everyone around you.
I think there's a lot of observing that goes on with water within the personality.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can make other people uncomfortable and play into their ability to take too much in, carrying the weight of their environment.
Yeah.
Then turn in and not tell anyone why they're feeling so damn moody.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, if you have a water sign in your life, check yourself.
Right?
Because if your water sign's being moody, check yourself, because it's usually the environment and like layers of that every layer of that environment they're taking on. You know?
Welcome to my marriage.
Welcome to me as a mother. Welcome to my mother. Welcome to like
everyone with a water sign.
Myself.
Yeah.
Like, this is my medicine. Cut. Aw, water signs.
Oh, you little guys.
It's just like a lot sometimes, being so in tune and feeling all the feels all the time and trying not to feel all the feels all the time. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, that's true.
It is. But don't forget, water is believed to be the origin of life and worshipped over and throughout history by many civilizations. It's not all tears and feelings sitting at home trying to hold boundaries. Water is a life source, an energy source to higher powers. The water element is able to adapt and take form to its surroundings. You pour water in a cup, it's the shape of the cup.
You know, also remember that we breathed underwater.
For 9 months.
Yeah, before we learned to breathe air.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that silence, and that stillness.
Yeah.
We grew, we became beings.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Communities and countries historically and currently have prayed for rain to drench the lands or fires and give nourishment for a new start. Therefore, water also holds a sense of faith because its gifts can purify and help grow.
So don't try to shut down or let anyone tell you those tears and feelings that flow naturally need to go. Hold some boundaries, yes, and create safe spaces so you can fully feel it all and use it to steer your life intuitively. Harness the water element's strengths of acceptance, adaptability, self-care, and compassion. And remember to find balance with the help of all the other elements as well. So, what about the chakras for the water element? Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the second chakra. This is your sacral or sacral chakra. We call it the Svadhisthana. And it correlates to, you guessed it, the element of water. When in flow, this chakra helps connect you to your creativity, your passion, your sexuality, and pleasure. And you know what? Don't forget your emotions. These things will be easy, and the connection to them within yourself and others will come easily. When not in flow, you might feel stagnant, run down, and like emotionally all over the place.
Yeah. The sacral chakra is also associated with the motherly, feminine, nurturing kind of energy, just like the element of water. Take that fluid energy and find a way around all the obstacles and difficulties that come up for you in life. Just like water would in a stream, it always finds its way around, right? If there's a boulder,
Yeah.
it moves around, it keeps flowing. Use this chakra's energy and connection to the element of water to help you let go and move forward to connect to what actually brings you pleasure.
Now, let's talk about colors. So, predominantly, the color associated to water is blue. There's also association to the color related to the sacral chakra, which is orange. But it's mostly blue and different tones depending on the depths you're diving into. If you're looking at the medicine wheel, you'll see that in the West, there's also the color black there, because in the West, there's also sunset and cycles end and death and things like that over in the West.
Yeah, I had the honor of working with an elder, as I spent some time working with an Indigenous organization. And some of the lessons that I've learned there was really, really interesting when we looked at the medicine wheel and they separated the colors. And you can see that, like, when you look at the West, and this stood out for me as a person of color and a history as a Black woman, and ancestors that were slaves and have land in Alabama, literally. So when we looked at the medicine wheel, we spoke about the West and Black, and it representing Black people and the history of Black people. And we spoke about the medicine wheel being literally our medicine. And I know we say that a lot too, about like our lessons and the elements, and that's our medicine, right? And so for Black people, their medicine is in water because the water is polluted. And when the water is polluted, it goes through everything and it can be traced back so long. It's very hard to clean water, right? So the journey of having your water polluted, the medicine within that is a long journey. It's an emotional journey. The pain body that you carry through that is heavy, and it's a lot. And it was really, really, really cool, very, very interesting lesson that we had. And it always stuck with me, and I always look at that. And as I went and got my degree and took different electives and learned history and learned about Black history and different things have come up, I always thought about that and how interesting it is, the idea of your emotional baseline being polluted with pain and suffering, and that also being the medicine of the people. As a people, coming together, growing and moving from that. It is so difficult to emotionally heal. I mean, you can look at intergenerational trauma, right? And it impacts so many levels. It keeps going. It's really, really hard to break free, and the things that you have to do to break free from that are a lot, and it's not easy. It's not easy, and it takes so many skills and so much learning and so much patience and so much time, and it takes a lot of knowledge and acceptance. And there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work there.
Emotional work. There's a lot of inner work.
So when that emotional plane is polluted, right, it's not easy to come up from that. So I just thought it was really interesting, and we went through the other colors as well, but I'll leave it at that because we're talking about water today, and it was just sparked that memory in my mind. And I believe there's a few really amazing videos that I even found on YouTube of American Indigenous elders speaking of this as well. And it's really, really interesting.
I would love to have a conversation. If you're out there, if there's someone out there who specializes in some of this knowledge in this work, we would love to invite you on our channel to we'd love to have this conversation. Please.
Absolutely. Educate, teach us, tell us more. You know, of course I have my own experiences as a person of color, but by no means does that limit me to learning the perceptions and the stories of Indigenous people in that respect, right? So I think it would be really amazing. I would love to have that conversation. Absolutely. Working with the water element in your own space with tangible tools or natural symbolism that might present itself to you would be using water element symbols, which is an upside down triangle. Place some water on your altar or incorporate it into your meditation practice. You can also use shells or coral. And take note, notice the overlap of tools. Burning herbs, which represent earth. The smoke is air. The fire to do so. And do it all in an abalone shell, which is symbolic to the water element.
I love that. That has never once been lost on me. I love how all the elements come together when we're doing clearing space and stuff.
Exactly. It's really beautiful.
Now, tarot is another great tool, and the water element is represented through the tarot cards within the suit of cups within the minor arcana, representing the consciousness and unconsciousness of emotions. It's fluidity, intuition, and healing, and love, connection, and relationships. If you want to pull a major arcana card to put on your altar or to use as a focal point in a meditation, I would look to maybe the Priestess.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the Chariot, the Hanged Man, the Death card, or even the Moon card.
Yeah, for sure. Priestess and Moon really speak to me.
Yeah. I like Death too, and I love Priestess. I think High Priestess.
That's that mothering energy, right?
Yeah.
That said, definitely look out for our upcoming tarot series for a breakdown of all 78 of the tarot cards.
It is a lot of work, but man, we have loved it.
Yes, but remember, for the element of water, these major arcana cards are all different, but fit at least one of the water characteristics you've learned about today. So choose what you need in regards to the context of your self-work, healing, and goals.
Just a little thing as we move into tarot here. Do you know, when I was first learning tarot and like trying to do associations of different cards and stuff, I remember Cups was one of the first ones that we did. And my teacher said for each one of these 10 emotions, attach a feeling and a memory where you felt that feeling. And I probably memorized Cups, one of the first out of all the correspondences. Yeah.
I like that.
So as you move forward into our course, think about that.
Oh, that's a hot tip. I can't help but put fire into it.
It's a hot tip.
We're doing a hot tip.
You mean it's a deep flow, Candace?
We're doing deep emotional connection. Cut!
All right, let's talk about some other tools or correspondences. Let's start with crystals. So when it comes to the West, I love working with opals and moonstone. I love aquamarine. That's a really good one. I like blue lace agate, lapis lazuli, silver and blue agate. And you know what else I really love to work with is Larimar from the Dominican Republic. They say that this is like the Atlantean stone, you know? Yeah, it's this beautiful blue. It's a really great one. It looks like the ocean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Plants and herbs to use are jasmine, mugwort,
Love mugwort.
willow,
Yeah.
aloe, chamomile, belladonna.
Belladonna.
That's another good one. Water hyacinth and lotus. They're all really good for this element. Toss a little of that into your cauldron or abalone. Or if you have an essential oil form of any of those, put it in your diffuser and let the steam fill your space.
Oh my gosh, having mugwort, blue lotus, and belladonna. Woo! All right.
Make sure the kids are in bed.
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Wow. And if you want to use any animal totems or tend to find any of these animals showing up in your life, take note. And look how the water element is flowing or not flowing in your life. Mythologically, look for mermaids, but otherwise like fish, dolphins, whales. On land, maybe some lamb, snake, seabirds, and most creatures that reside in or around water.
So why don't we do a little free flow question section to see where we're at with this element. Follow along as well, and please comment below with your answers too. All right, so Stephen,
Darling.
how connected do you feel to your emotions?
So that's a really interesting question. It sounds really easy on the surface, but there's like a lot of layers to that because I have a lot of fire in my chart. I have a lot of like Leo fire, and so for me, like passion and desire and like very primal feeling, you know, these instigative feelings come very naturally to me, and I often act on them. I listen to them, I feel them. When it comes to giving space for like emotional space to myself, it took me a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work to not think, oh, you're feeling sad, you know what, get your shit together and don't feel sad and build Rome. Like that's sort of how I was wired, I guess, as I was growing up. So not because of anything, it wasn't how I was raised, I guess, but it's how I coped. So to sit in to sit in my emotions and just to allow that space was something I had to do a lot of work. I would say in my life, probably in my late 20s, where like it took a lot of time to even just sit comfortably and cry and not feel like, to get rid of masculine stereotype of men don't cry, or like attaching that to homosexuality, being like, you have to be more masculine, you have to be like more cisgendered, you have to be more like, it took a long time to feel comfortable in that skin with like showing emotion. And now I feel on the other side of doing all of this work, for years of doing that work, I have cried very publicly and openly in safe spaces and unsafe spaces, you know what I mean? Like if I'm feeling that way, I'm comfortable, I'm going to feel those things. I allow myself space to feel anger. I allow my space to feel sad. I allow myself all of this space. I wouldn't say it's a natural place for me to just like sit there and lull about in my feelings. That's not who I am either, but I do respect what it does for me, the end of cycles, nostalgia, because I also think there's a lot of gratitude in giving reverence to why you are feeling that way in these intense emotions. What about you? How do you feel? Are you in touch with your emotions, would you say?
Yeah, I think I'm very in touch with my emotions. I think I am a woman who is in a flow of my hormones, and I have PCOS, so that plays a lot into it, and I feel like I've always been in a state of emotion. I've always been super connected to that. Maybe not always in a healthy way, or not always in a productive way, but it's always been a part of my journey.
Yeah, I'd say in the last 5-10 years, watching your growth with that, like I'd say it's been like 7 years of like super health with that, you know? Or, yeah, something like that. Like I remember watching a turning point of that.
Yeah, it's always been a part of my journey. Always, from the time I was a kid, it was always very easy to become emotional. Always. And, I got teased for it. I've got called out so many times for it. It's like a family joke. It's been something that has been like given to me as a part of my personality and the role that I'm going to play in a lot of social settings with people who have known me for a really long time. Although it has evolved greatly, and I have now harnessed it, and I'm in control of it, and I understand it, and doing this work with elements and doing all of that, really understand myself and why I am the way I am, and how I can be empowered by it and not overwhelmed by it. That was definitely part of my medicine. Because I'm also very like fiery. I have a lot of fire in my chart. I have a lot of earth in my chart. Actually, my chart is very balanced. So it's only off. Anything that's not the first is off by 1. And those 2 are tied. So those 4, I'm very balanced in it. So it was, but still the predominant ones of my personality are fiery and very earthy. And so I have this wash of water that comes in. And like I said, because I am a woman and I have these hormonal things, I'm definitely connected to that part of myself, because I have no choice. I have no choice. And it was definitely part of my medicine, and learning more about me and how to work with that has been a journey. But it is a journey that I feel like I have come to master in some type of way. It could always change.
Of course.
There's always room to learn, of course.
We're always on a wavelength like this, especially when it comes to the West and feelings and emotions.
Right now, as far as my hormones go and what has ruled a lot of my life, especially after I had a baby, I'm in control of it. I understand it. I know when things are happening. I can name it. I can see it. I can feel it. I'm ahead of it. I catch it before it even takes a face.
Yeah, the type of embodiment that took place after you became a mother, there's like a clear before and after, you know what I mean? Like you're so in control of your body temple and your mind's in a different way. And I feel like before I gave birth, I wasn't in control of my emotions. My emotions were in control of me. And it was really, really, really hard to
be a stable, high-functioning person. It took a lot of work, and it didn't always work out.
It didn't land. Yeah,
It didn't land.
wasn't landing.
It didn't take land. And I feel like when I gave birth to my daughter, I was lucky enough and able-bodied enough to have a natural birth, and I had her in water. My little water sign baby was born in water. But
did you ever think you would have a water sign baby?
No,
It's
she was supposed to be a Leo.
Yeah,
she's
she
the
was
last,
going to be the
she's the last day of Cancer.
Yeah,
the last day
right?
of Cancer.
Yeah.
And she came early.
But honestly,
Even-
I wouldn't change anything about any part of her. She's
Yeah, no,
she's
no,
a
absolutely
gift.
not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I
everything
love
about
it.
her
It's
and
perfect.
what she's
She's
given
perfect.
for- yeah.
Absolutely. But that experience in and of itself was a turning of a page, and it was the deepest and most real and most rawest lesson of water, of emotion, of intuition, of nurturing and mother energy, of all of the symbolic representation that what the water element has. I partook and experienced that in its rawest form.
Yeah.
And I gave birth to my daughter in water, my earth sign baby, this Cancer moon and Pisces rising. All of the things were in flow of years from a child, years of not being controlled with water. And I trusted my intuition and my feelings and everything in this moment. No matter what happened, I didn't even know what gender she was going to be. I had no idea what anything was going on. And in this moment, I was in complete connection and in complete flow with all the things that make me who I am and all the water elements that make me who I am. And I was completely empowered by it. And I feel like that moment when I birthed my child, it turned a page.
Mhm.
And from that day forth, I was aware and in control. And even though it doesn't mean that it always worked out or that I'm like some, perfect person, no. But it meant that my connection to water and recognizing those parts of myself were something that I was very aware of and something that I was very in control of. So I could say, this is that happening right now. And I can step back and I can pull from the earth or the fire or the air, whatever I need, because I have a balanced chart, so I can pull from those things with that awareness and find that balance.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, that moment, that true deepest connection to water that I've ever had in my life thus far is what turned the page in my connection to this element.
I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too.
Well, that is a wrap on the water element. We really hope you enjoyed all of this as much as we did. The elements are such a great way to begin understanding how to look at the details of your natal chart, tarot readings, and the zodiac in general.
If you want to learn more about how the water element is working or how it could be working for you, contact us at info@arcanamindbodyspirit.com or visit our website www.arcanamindbodyspirit.com for a full list of products and services.
You can also reach us and keep updated by following all of our social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook under the same name, Arcana Mind Body Spirit. So hit like and the notification bell. And join us next time for another one of our 4 elements.
Bye for now, Soul Circle, and don't forget,
Magic is real. It sure is.
Much love. Mwah.
Namaste.